Good evening. Welcome to the Wednesday stream. Hope everyone's having a great day. Hope you have a good week. Only got a couple weeks left of the year. Actually, just about 2 weeks. Today's Wednesday, so 2 weeks from tomorrow will be the new year. Hello again, Justin. Hello. All right, let's get rolling. Back at it. Back to the grind. I have decided that for today, we are going to start up top where this dig is at and just clear out a whole bunch of space up here. Because this will be our benchmark for like the top area that we'll dig to, so. Back at the old grind, working on the perimeter. Finally be your first stream in my streams. Well, welcome in. Good to have you here. Hope you're having a good day. Pretty relaxed here. Just chatting, saying hi. I'll sometimes talk about random things. Oh my goodness. It's a mixture of everything from Minecraft to, oh my gosh, to oh my gosh. Just things that are going on in life as well, so. For me, a lot of times these streams are more of just a time to hang out and play the game, because I don't right now, other than on stream, I'm not really playing the game. So for me, it's just a nice time to hang out, make some progress on some projects. I've had this world for almost 5 years now, so this is kind of like my world until the time at which I die in this world. This is kind of it, so I like to spend my time here. There we go. Oh, you heard about me from KB? Cool. Cool. Welcome in. KB is great, so I'm sure you've been enjoying his content as well. I don't know how much he's been streaming recently, but I know at the very least he's been making videos, so. They started the new season, so. So yeah, this is my single player world. It's a hardcore amplified world. Like I said, I've been in this world for almost 5 years now, so I enjoy just kind of hanging out, doing big projects in this world. Small and big projects, but hey Breezy, how's it going? 15 stream streak. Wow, you're really getting the streak going. Oh my goodness. My week's been good though. My week's been pretty good, I must say. The nice thing about getting to the last 2 weeks of the year is, you know, obviously most of my life being well into adulthood at this point is work. So when we get to the last couple weeks of the year, there's not a whole lot going on, which is nice. I got to spend today trying to catch up on things at work that I've been putting off for a while. So that's typically what I do in the last couple weeks of the year, is keep working on stuff that's, you know, important, stuff I need to get done, but I'm able to get to a lot of like the smaller things that I don't normally have time to get to. Steve is a cow in this world. Well, technically we have Steve Jr. in this world. We have a little throne, we put Steve Jr. on. Steve was a cow in my original amplified hardcore world. There's a cow we named Steve, and that we worshipped. So now we worship Steve Jr. There's a little throne in the overworld of this world. There's a little throne over by my farming village, by the farming portal, where we have Steve contained. We don't have any offerings really that we give him right now, though I do think it would be fun to have like a little offering area. There. There we go. I'll have to do that bit. It's just this is so high up. I should just pillar up here. Praise Steve. Actually, it's not on here, I don't think. There's, on the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, you see my little farmer. Oh, that's the wrong one. No, it might be, if I go to my starting screen. Yeah, there's Steve. So this emote, I can't remember if this is just a subscriber-only emote or if it's a follower emote as well. But that's supposed to resemble, like, the Pog emote on Twitch, but Steve the cow. So... If I started playing Minecraft again after like 7 years of not playing, nice. I've always been kind of off and on. I don't think there's ever been a time where I haven't played the game at all in like a year time span. But I've gone like months without playing, so I get it. It is 7:34 p.m. for me right now. I wonder if I still have the time command. I probably still do. It's in international time, but still my correct time zone. 1934, 7:34 p.m. So I stream twice a week. I stream on Sundays, I stream on Wednesdays. Sundays I stream at a more reasonable time for me. I mean, 7:30 is a reasonable time. But more like middle of the day, I guess, for me. On Sundays, about 1 p.m. Eastern, so 1300. And then Wednesday evenings is the best time on like a weekday for me to stream, so. Oh, it's almost 3 a.m., jeez. Should probably get some sleep soon then. I don't even remember the last time I was up till 3 a.m. to be honest. Usually it cuts off at like 1 or 2. I was about to say that I'm too old for that, but I'm not too old to be staying up to 3 a.m. I certainly act like an old man, for sure. Not that old, but I certainly act like it. The worst parts of it, not the better parts, not the wisdom. I don't have the wisdom. I just have the sleep schedule. Although I have been going to bed at like not 7. That'd be way too early. Been going to bed at like 10:30, 11. Not really falling asleep till probably midnight-ish, but I've been actually trying to go to bed earlier than like noon. Earlier than midnight. Get off my lawn. It's my lawn. Get off my lawn. Not melon, my lawn. Watermelon. I just leave because I have my part-time job exam, but 2 hours of the stream won't. 2:40 a.m. You have a job at 6. So if you were to go to sleep now, you get 3 hours of sleep? Something like that. I mean, I also get it from the perspective is, you know, sometimes when we go to bed, it's like, do we have to go to bed? Because I don't want to go to work tomorrow. At least for me, I don't have to go anywhere. I can literally roll out of bed still. So. Pretty nice to still be able to do that. I was in college when COVID happened in 2020. And so for the most part, like, before that, if you had at 8 a.m., it was like in person, you had to get up, you had to get dressed somewhat, and go to class. When COVID hit, you know, similar to what I was saying earlier, I can still roll out of bed right now. I would even more so, because now if I roll out of bed, I have to walk across a hallway to get to my office. When I was in college, like, I just had my little bedroom with my bed and my desk and a little dresser. And so I could, and the desk was probably, I mean, my bed was kind of like against the wall. Against the opposite wall was my desk, and in between that is where I put my desk chair, which is the same desk chair I'm actually using right now. And so I could literally roll out of bed, reach out my arm, probably grab the chair, sit in the chair, and roll myself over to my desk for an 8 a.m. because everything went online, of course. So at least for a semester or two. So made it easier. Made it easier to have an 8 a.m. class as a college kid, because I could literally roll out of bed. So I can't say I miss the other parts of COVID, but that part of it was kind of nice. As long as you don't have video meeting first thing in the morning. We don't. Yeah, my first meetings don't start till 9, and even if they did, we don't like. To be honest, there is kind of a culture for us of like using webcams, but nobody enforces it or really cares that much. It's just a nice thing to do. It's like if you have the ability to turn on your camera, people try to turn on their cameras, basically. If you don't, then cool. It's not a big deal. But if you can, then people like to do that. And in large part, it's because a lot of like the company that I work at, we're so distributed still. Like they haven't done, like a lot of companies out there have done like return to office kind of stuff. Hey everyone, you know, I know you worked just fine from home for 3 years or whatever it was, but now you got to come back in full time. We don't have that. And it's a relatively small company, and the part I'm a part of is even smaller. And so even like our leadership has said like, yeah, unless we like have some external force that is forcing us to make people come back in, we're not ever gonna be fully in person again. So I'm technically hybrid, although like I said, I for the most part work from home. I live close enough to the office that if I need to, and there are times where I've needed to, I go in. For the most part, I don't. But part of that culture as well is like because we're all more distributed, they do like people to have their cameras on when possible, so they can see people's faces and know what people look like. That's about it, really. Like, no one's monitoring your work saying, "Oh, you're not really working if you don't have your camera on." Like, no, it's not anything like that. People just want to see that people's faces. That's about it. So first shift starts at 5:30. It takes like 30 minutes to get ready, but I think it's from 6 to 1. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I don't miss actual shift work. I did that for a little bit, not very long, few months, but it's my first job. That was back in 2018. That's when I was streaming a lot more. So I was streaming like 4 or 5 days a week, probably. I would have the 2 to 10, or I had the closing shift. So I'd have either 2 to 10 or 1 to 10. And when I get off from work, I'd come home. If it was a day that I was supposed to be streaming, and then I would stream from like 10:30, 11 p.m. to like 3 a.m. and then zonk out. I think I've told the story before of how I fell asleep on the floor. So it's interesting. I definitely don't miss that. Waiter, nice. Yeah, I was just a stalker. I worked at a nearby Walmart for a summer, so I purposefully chose something that was not front of house. So when I saw they had openings for that, I'm like, all right, I'll take that. That's what I want to do. So, not that I couldn't learn it, but I just at that time in my life, I was definitely a lot less like sociable. So I really didn't want to socialize with, I say socialize, just like be around people for the most part. My brother was also, that was around the time my brother, I think, went full time, and he worked at Walmart as well, different Walmart. So I knew it was going to be a decent enough job. And he was a stalker as well, and so I heard some stuff he would do. I'm like, oh, okay. I can do that. So. Yeah, Walmart, like the big box store. Huge conglomerate. At the time, in terms of like those kind of like retail kind of, or supermarket jobs, it was one of the better paid ones. I think Target paid more. Target. I don't know if that's kept up over the last 7 years or not. Any recommendations for colleges or universities in the States I'm moving next year? So just asking. It kind of depends on what you want to do. It's kind of the first step, but it's the hard step, which is what do you want to do? And then, because when I was looking at colleges, I was looking at, you know, I first need to know what I wanted to do, and then what colleges were better for the things that I wanted to do. Right, so I've said it before. I went to a college called Virginia Tech in Virginia. Virginia Polytechnic Institute and State University is technically the full name, but everyone calls it Virginia Tech. And I got my degree in computer engineering. So like I knew I wanted to do engineering of some kind. So it was just a matter of like what, and I lived in Virginia, so it was like what state college probably what college within the state of Virginia do I want to go to? I looked at a couple other ones as well, like out of state colleges, but it was cheaper, and a college like Virginia Tech is a well-ranked engineering school, so I was like, okay. And then I went and toured it, like I think it was my sophomore year of high school or something like that. And I like the atmosphere. I kind of knew as soon as I walked on campus and was walking around, I'm like, yeah, this is, if I have a choice, if this is in my list of choices, this is where I'm gonna go. So Warrior Engineering, yeah, pre-law. I'm not sure what the better schools are. Engineering, I mean, depending on how high you can go, obviously like the best are things like MIT, right? Virginia Tech's a good school. Georgia Tech was another one people really liked. There's all kinds of good engineering schools. Like every state kind of has like at least a decent school, and some other colleges are getting better at their engineering programs. Penn State was supposed to have a good engineering program at one point. I don't know if they still do. Yeah, no, Virginia Tech's in Virginia? What? Unbelievable. Virginia's on the east coast of the U.S. It's one of the states that borders Washington, D.C., the capital of the U.S. So when D.C. was formed, I think it was Maryland and Virginia. I live in Maryland now. But Maryland and Virginia gave up parts of their land to form the nation's capital. I don't think Pennsylvania gave up anything, but Pennsylvania's still a little far up there. Because there's a little bit of Maryland that runs above DC that separates DC from Pennsylvania. All of those states are, I would say, part of the Mid-Atlantic region of the United States, which is pretty much the, like, if you were to look at a map of the U.S. and you go up and down the East Coast, basically the middle part of that shoreline is the Mid-Atlantic, so Virginia, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Delaware. Yeah, Texas and California, both border Mexico, yep. That's most borders, you know. Yeah, California's on the west coast. Texas would be, I mean, it's not really southwest, it's south for sure. Literally directly south. Mid-south? I can't say Midwest. Midwest is always a funny one to mention. But... Whoa. That could have been bad. That could have been very bad. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of southwest. I don't know if I necessarily... I mean, I don't know what Texas is actually considered, but I don't know if I necessarily consider Texas the southwest. Texas is kind of almost its own region. Either that or you put Texas with, like, Oklahoma. Oklahoma is a state right above, just north of Texas. So... Geography's fun. At what point I had to memorize all the capitals of all those states too. Do I remember them? No. Yeah, it's probably considered part of the South. That's a fair point, Breezy. I mean, I don't know what other category you'd put it in, you know. So, Florida has Gators, yep. Florida's interesting, we'll say. I've been to Florida. I have family who live in Florida. Like, it's not like a bad state, but it's definitely a weird state to me. It's its own category. So. Oh my goodness, do not hit me, please. If I ask really nicely, will you not hit me? Oh wonderful, oh amazing magma cubes. Go. Beautiful. I'm trying to remember where the border is for all of this. So there's a border over here, of course. Other border is somewhere that way. Still too far that way, okay. We got a ways to go. Bye-bye. Run, Rudolph. Did I ever mention what my Spotify Wrapped was? I feel like I did. You go back and look at it. I play a lot of my stream music from Spotify. In years past, it's typically related to this stream playlist. Or typically like my top songs. Just because I would stream the most, but more like this year was definitely not this playlist. It was, I think my top two were, was considered, no, my top was still EDM, but beyond that, my other two were pop rock and alternative rock, which probably surprises nobody.
Hello.
Thanks for the follow, appreciate that. Hope you're having a good day. Santa's gotta make it to town. Thanks for the praise, Steve. Just praise, Steve. Praise, Steve. He hath been praised. Good fortune. Oh my goodness. Good fortune will come to us. A little bit of Arizona, which I know is under Utah, next to California and Texas. Yep, it's in that southwest area. Arizona, New Mexico, Utah, and Colorado. The four box. The four square box. in the southwestern US. If anyone here knows what four square is. Oh, we did see last time. We could do some of that. Nah, maybe we won't do that today. We did get enough skulls for fighting a wither. I don't really care to fight a wither per se, but we do need the wither roses at some point. This way? Oh no! I think my iron golem's taking some damage. I don't know why. I also don't know why skeletons. I thought it was literally just wither skeletons that could spawn here. I'm not really sure why skeletons are spawning here. There's a nice lady who makes great bacon cheeseburgers in Arizona. Oh my goodness. Find a lot of great food like that in the US for sure. When I was in Texas many years ago, and when I say many, it was like 2019, I think, when this happened. We stopped at a place in Texas that had like this like burger challenge. It was like a half pound of everything, like a half pound of bacon, a half pound of cheese. Maybe the burger itself was a pound. I'm trying to remember. It was huge. I think the challenge was actually more than that, but like the mini version that wasn't really a challenge, it was just a regular burger, was that. And I still remember like looking at it being like, I can eat that. Oh no. And I did get it, and I did finish it. It was an experience for sure. I didn't get anything else but that burger, and I barely finished the burger. It was a lot. Remember the people around me just like with wide eyes, just looking at it like, oh my gosh, he's gonna finish that. And I'm like, yeah. I got everything on it too. It was an experience. Back when I was in college, and eating that much wouldn't have much of a negative effect on me. Oh no. I feel like it doesn't burn as fast now as it used to. Maybe it's just being in the nether, I don't know. This is our cutoff point right here. Flipped everything over. $25, but it was good. Nice. Yeah, I mean, I hope for 25 bucks it's good. Though it's not always the case anymore. Life just gets more expensive. I don't know why I did that, but that's fine. Cut this right down the middle. That's the edge here? Oh, that is definitely the edge. Not the Edge of Glory. Not a Lady Gaga song. Go. I think if the menu said $70 for a meal, you don't think you scam me out of $8? Maybe. Unlikely though. We paid 25 bucks for it. Does 25 bucks include like a tip as well? Or is that just like what you think the cost of the actual burger was? The burger. Oh my goodness. Make a quick work of this. Do this. All the way across. So give a nice defined edge. Give like a You're saying $30 with the tip or a $30 tip? If you give a $30 tip, that's a big tip. That's like the whole cost of the burger. Unless you're saying you got other stuff as well, and then so like the whole meal cost is more, and then 30 bucks wouldn't be as big. Customary for a tip is anywhere from like, I think it goes as low as 10%, but typically I'd say most people stay in the 15 to 20% range these days. Some people go higher, 15 to 20% of like your total bill cost, assuming the service wasn't bad. Though I think more and more people are also just tipping regardless of how the server is. It's almost like a mandatory. A lot of places are also putting like a instead of a tip, they're putting a gratuity, which is like a fixed 20% cost on top. $30 tip. Wow, that's a big tip. Yeah, pretty average is like 20. Get $2 from with lemon, 1 burger and fries, or as we say, chips. Not from the UK. Hey, I mean, I guess it's technically a British dish, but sometimes fries are called chips here. If you get fish and chips, it's actually called fish and chips here still. It's not called fish and fries. That'd be a fun name, but we have chips like potato chips, and then depending upon the meal, you sometimes can, if it says chips, you have to, most of the time it's not it's not fries, but it's like the Lay's potato chips, or you know, the off brand of that, or some other brand that's similar to that. But I have seen it occasionally be called chips. Like I said, fish and chips is the big one because it didn't originate from the U.S. It's not. It's not an American dish. So. I would think is why it's still called that here. That's what I would expect. Okay, potato chips, chips plus fries, and chips as in change. Interesting. Okay. I mean, there's probably poker chips too, right? I mean, that's a whole different thing, but not a food thing. But there's computer chips. Don't eat those. Or the poker chips. Oh wait, it's a song. Instead, I gotta say it. I gotta say it. Hold on.
Will we ever get off this island?
No, we'll never get off this island.
I don't know.
Yes, you do. There we go. I had to say it. Y'all heard the lyrics. It's the island song, as we call it. Chocolate chips. That's a good one. Chocolate chips. Those you can eat. I hope. Otherwise, what have I been doing all these years? There's chips, like if you have a not a physical thing, but if you have a chip on your shoulder, chip off the old block. All kinds of chips. Chip has so many meanings. It's kind of wild. Oh, I'm allergic to chocolate? Rip. My brother's not allergic, but he's never... I think to this day he still doesn't eat chocolate. He never liked it as a kid. So I got to have all the chocolate things. I think he tried a piece of chocolate later on in life as well and still didn't like it, so... Ice chips, that's a good one. Ice chips. I mean, this is kind of tangential to chocolate chips, but when I think of chocolate chips, I also think of Chips Ahoy, the chocolate chip cookie brand. Is a chip like a piece of something? A wood chip? When we were talking about chips just now, I immediately thought of American football, of course, and a chip block. Chip block. You hit somebody when you go run a route, basically. So, I mean, a lot of people learn this in lot of Americans learn this in school, but guns are something that are talked about in like the Bill of Rights, Second Amendment. You know, you see 2A everywhere. People say stuff 2A this, 2A that. The right to bear arms. That's why it's more of a topic for America in general. And why it can be more controversial as well. Oh my. Nuh-uh. Stop it. And then just beyond that, it's just a cultural thing, I would say. It's been a cultural thing probably as long as the country's been around. So. Only remember from history class by Americans through the Boston Tea Party. Makes it sound fun, Boston Tea Party. I don't know if it was really that fun, but it does make it sound fun. Throwing tea into an ocean. It's more of a statement than it was, you know, fun, but... But yeah, generally just a cultural thing since the country's founding. So hey, Fantastic Fins, hopefully you're doing well. All right, fair enough. It's officially 3:11 a.m. Is it bedtime, Justin? Is it bedtime? Night-night? For 2 hours? Or are you staying up all night? All-nighters are not fun, though. I'll tell you that. Next day, I pulled a couple in college, and it was not fun. I think one of them I stayed up for about, I'm trying to remember. It was like, in my mind, for some reason I had the idea that it was 40 hours, but I don't think it was 40 hours. It seems too long. So it'd be like multiple days. It was probably more like, if I got up to 7:30, it was probably more like 30 hours, to be honest. For some reason the 40 number is stuck in my head, but oh yeah, your body at some point is gonna be like, all right, let's go to sleep. That's what mine did when I pulled a couple all-nighters, but I remember one of the all-nighters that I pulled in college, my body eventually just was done. I got through all my classes. I stayed up all night to finish a project. Horrible idea. Get the project done sooner. Don't stay up all night. My brain was not really working very well at the end of it. Once I'd gone through all the classes the next day, though, my body fell asleep at like 2 p.m. or something. It was like, nope, you're done. No more. Anything else you wanted to do? Nah. So I think I ended up taking a nap for a few hours. Oh no, it was like midday. I think I woke up in time for my, no, I'm trying to remember. Was that right before my 2:30 class or right after my 2:30 class? I can't remember now. I feel like it was right before, but this was long enough ago that I don't remember all the details of it. Been 45 hours a week for Elden Ring? That's wild, yeah. The only times I ever stayed up late was because of, or pulled an all-nighter, at least in college, was because of school, like I had a schoolwork thing to do or something. I think my first all-nighter I pulled in high school. I was at there was a sleepover at a friend's house for this particular friend's birthday, and we all decided to just stay up the whole night because why not? Every time before, and this was I think in high school, every time before that, like we tried like different friends' birthday parties and sleepovers in like elementary school and middle school, but everyone just fell asleep by like 3 or 4 a.m. and couldn't stay awake. And this particular day and night in high school though, like it was over the summer, so I don't think school had started yet. And so people were like, all right, this is it, we're gonna do it. And so we ended up staying up the whole night, really for the novelty of it more than anything. It's like, ooh, I can stay up all night, no one's gonna tell me to go to bed. And then the next day was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. So, like, I think I've only pulled like 3 or 4 all-nighters before. One of them being in high school. I think that there was at least a second one in high school, in college, if not a third one. One of them I remember I pulled an all-nighter because I was up late doing some kind of like part of my computer engineering curriculum. I had to take electrical engineering courses, and so it was some like electrical circuits, like a DC circuits lab or something. I was over at a friend's apartment for a while because we were like comparing notes and helping each other out or something. And I got back to my dorm at like 3 a.m. I think. And I had an 8 a.m. class, and I was really afraid of missing it because I had either a presentation or I had something that I had to turn in that day. I don't remember what it was, but I was really afraid of missing that 8 a.m. class. Or I forget if it was 8 or 9 a.m., whatever time it actually was. So what I did is when I got back to my dorm, I remember putting on my running clothes, and I went for a run at like 3:30 in the morning. Because then after I did that, I then took a shower. And by the time I did that, I think I spent a little bit of time that morning doing some projects I had to do for other classes. I also kind of zoned out. I was watching somebody stream that morning. I feel like it would have been like Celtic or someone who normally stream that early. But I ended up watching a stream on my computer while I was doing other work. And then eventually when it got to the point of like, all right, it's time to go to class, and I went to class and all that, but oh, you know what? That all-nighter was probably the one where I fell asleep at like 2 or 3 o'clock and had a little nap. Because I think the one, the other all-nighter was one like I didn't have any classes the next day. It was like a final project I had to do. So I was able to just kind of go to sleep. Fun times. Fun, quote unquote. Some parts of it were fun. Some parts of college are fun. Some parts of it are not fun. But I will say the biggest difference that really shocked me more than I thought it would. I went from college to just like working a full-time job. Was that I had a lot more freedom in college, like during the day, because if you work a full-time job, right, you gotta get ready and go to that job and or just wake up. And a lot of times my days, I'll work 8, 9, 10 hours. By the time I'm done, I'm like More recently, because I've been able to stay home a lot more and work from home, it's not nearly as exhausting. When I went into an office, it was a lot on like a personal, person to person level. Like it was a lot to handle. Keeps on me, I guess. Yeah, I always get afraid when I go to bed, like when I'm only gonna get like 2 or 3 hours of sleep. I'm always afraid that like I'm gonna miss whatever I'm gonna oversleep, because I do that now. Like I've slept through alarms. I've not heard like 5 alarms before. And or I'll hear it, I'll turn it off, I'll go right back to sleep. Oh, almost at an hour. Yeah, you're right. I guess I did start a little early. Normally, like an hour would be at about like 10 minutes from now would be an hour. We started a little early. But yeah, I very rarely now, you know, don't get my 8 hours of sleep. Even if I go to bed at midnight, I'm probably not waking up till... There's 2 pieces of this here. Nice. I'm probably not waking up till 8 o'clock. I start work at varying times. It's anywhere between... I've started work at 6:30 in the morning before, but I've also started work at like 9 o'clock in the morning. It really depends. A lot of times it depends on when I wake up. Again, it's one of those things that's nice about not having like shift work where I have to be at work or working at a specific time. And the company I work for really does not care. At least the part of my company I work for does not care. I don't know about the rest of it, but fortunately, it's not a big deal to them. So. The last time I got a full 8 hours was like 5th grade. Yep. That was one of the nice things. Like I remember, like as a kid, my parents were really strict about like, okay, you're going to bed at, I think it was like no later than 9. I think 9 was my bedtime in like elementary school, so it would have been like 5th grade, 6th grade. Which, you know, looking back on it, it was pretty nice to have a bedtime. Like a strict, like someone else is saying, you are going to bed at X time, you know. It was nice to have that, because then it wasn't like, well, I could stay up another half an hour. Well, I could just do this thing. Somebody else was keeping me accountable, like, hey, you're going to bed at this time, and it's gonna happen. Doesn't matter what else is happening. I remember it being a big thing because we would watch the NFL, American football, on Sunday nights, and then it was a school night, so we definitely had to be in bed by like 9 o'clock. And so because of when the game started, we would get to see like the first quarter. Game started like 8:15, 8:20, something like that. So we would get to see the first quarter, and then most of the time it's like, all right, you gotta go to bed, and you'll see the score in the morning, but you're not getting to stay up. Occasionally we would get to stay up a little longer, but most of the time not. Which is a bit of a bummer. Now I'm able to stay up as long as I want, for the most part. So I get to watch full Sunday night, Monday night games. because they start around, I think both nights they start around 8:15, 8:30, somewhere between there. Remember 10th grade, I slept at like 2:30 a.m. and woke up at 5:30 a.m. just before I had to go for school. I would regularly, definitely in high school, get like 5 hours of sleep, which is not good, but it was what it was. It was what it was. Between all the activities that I did and then like having to do homework, I wouldn't be done. I would normally go to bed at like 12. I would try weekdays to go to bed at 11, but honestly more often than not I was up till 12 or 1 a.m. doing homework. I do not miss that at all. That's the part about school I definitely don't miss. Was like all the work outside of work, if you will. The work outside of school that you have to do. I mean, I get it. It's, yeah, you learn faster, but it's part of the reinforcement of the skills that you learn in class and all that. Yeah, well, best of luck today, Justin. Sounds like it's gonna be a rough one for you. I think 10th grade was probably my favorite year in high school. I'm trying to think. No, senior year was my favorite year. 12th grade, definitely my favorite. The reason I say that is because most other years, or all other years, I had a full schedule in high school. Senior year, I got off a class early, and we would have 4 classes a day, not the normal 6 that a lot of people have. We'd have 4 classes a day, and so I would be done. I remember in high school, I was making a lot of content at that point as well, but I'd be done with school and leave by like 1 p.m. I'd get there by 7:30, be done by 1 p.m. Head home, go for a run, eat lunch. I never ate lunch at school. In senior year, I would just always come home and eat lunch. Home was like a 10-minute drive away, not a big deal. And then I'd have time to do homework, and at some point senior year, I started streaming at like 2:30 in the afternoon. Because senior year is also like, my parents are still at work. My mom won't get home till like 5 or 6 p.m. So my dad would get home later. So I would have like a few hours where like the house, I just had it to myself basically. My brother was at college for that year. My parents were working. I'd go home and be like, cool, this is awesome. I got the whole house to myself. So. First shift is only drinks, so I'll be fine. Fair enough then. Fair enough. Either way. There we go. But yeah. Senior year would have definitely been my favorite year of high school. I forgot about the fact that I got off of class early. I think if I look back at high school, I've done this a little more recently, and I've thought about like, if I had to go back and do high school again, what would I do differently? what is it about high school that I feel like I either missed out on something, or just looking back on it, you know, hindsight's 2020, right? But if I could do it over again, what would I do differently? And I think the biggest thing, I focus so much, and probably throughout my whole life, I focus a lot on this, more than I should. But I focus so much on my grades and academia, and that's good for getting into a good school and a good career and all that, but I would oftentimes put school and academia and homework and things that would get me ahead later on well before any social life. And that's probably the one thing I would change, is like, yeah, it's good to get, you know, good grades and do well in school and all that, for sure. But I do wish I'd had a little more of a social life. I'm not talking about anything crazy though. I know there's all kinds of things that can happen in high school, but you know, hanging out with people a little bit more, being a little more friendly, being a little more sociable. None of which are any of my strong suits, but are things that I think would have made high school a little more fun. So, it's a weird time. We pay 30% of what we give to our customers, so a $300 stake is like $90 pay, so early shifts are great pay. You pay 30% of what we give to our customers. That's cool. It's kind of like not the same thing, but it reminds me of like night shifts. A lot of times get paid a lot more. What is a social life? That's a good question. I had a bit of a social life after I graduated. Not in college, but there was a time period between high school and college. There was that summertime period. And it wasn't like a lot, but like I was like regularly hanging out with people. And we would go do things. That's probably like the most amount of... Well, I guess I had somewhat of a social life in college. Where we get like a group of 4 or 5 people together and just go hang out. Now, it was a little different in college because we all lived next to each other, and or like my last 2 years of college, we all literally lived in the same apartment. It was a 4-bedroom apartment. The 4 of us always hung out. So it's a little different than having, you know, friends drive places and you all drive someplace together, or walk around someplace together, whatever it is. But I probably would have done more, because I had more opportunities in high school. People were like, hey, you should come to this, hey, you should go to that, and I'd always say no, or I've got homework, or I have some other thing going on that was a school or sport related thing. Summer of 2017. Summer of 2017 was the summer between high school and college. No, summer of 2018, I had absolutely no social life. Summer of 2018 consisted of streaming and work, and that was it. I did not do anything else. Well, I made YouTube videos as well, but content and try reverse mathing, yeah. I graduated high school in 2017. So I say stack instead of order. Oh. $300 order. Okay, I get that now. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Yeah, it's quite a bit. It's a big order though. I feel like $300 is a big order. Graduated high school in 2004. Nice. Definitely a different time period. Weird to see how things have evolved. I wonder what kids who, I mean, I'm not that old, right? But I wonder what kids who are graduating high school now, what it's like for them. Because I feel like the 2000s is quite different from even the 2010s. The 2020s are probably a lot more different. Best year in your guys' opinion? I'll go first, like 2016, 2017. So my best year, and I'm gonna quantify best as like when I had the most fun, right? When I was looking at life and I'm like, yeah, this is a lot of fun. I'm doing a lot of cool things. I'm hanging out with a lot of people. I'm making great content. Whatever it might be. I would say it's probably 2019 for me. Was probably like the was it 2019? Probably 2019 to be honest. It's a toss up between 2018 and 2019 for me. The reason I say it's a toss up is because 2019 I can look back and I can think about like there were some things in 2019 that were not good for me. So I would probably say one of those two. 2018 in particular, there was so much good, like looking back on it, there was so much good content stuff going on. Like I had a lot of fun in 2018. 2018 was the year I met my wife as well, Emma. A lot of you guys know about. Well, obviously, she's been a big part of this since then. But 2018 is the year that we met. Right? Yeah, because I was beginning, it would have been fall of 2018 is when we met. Which means we've known each other for 7 years? Thinking of it, I'm still kind of young. On 2006, yeah. I mean, that's cool. I had to wrap my head around that. 2006 is still Gen Z. Younger Gen Z are like the youngest Gen Z I think are in high school right now. But 2006 isn't like the youngest. Most of Gen Z are adults at this point, which is kind of wild to me. But correct, we started dating. Well, we did not. We technically did not start dating until 2020. Technically. We were hanging out a lot in 2019, but we did not, I would say more officially. We never officially started dating. There's no like, here's your first date. We joked that our first date was an NHL game, a Capitals game. It wasn't supposed to be, but we were gonna go with like 2 other people, 1 other person, and the other people bailed, and so it was just the 2 of us. Alright, we're gonna go take this up. Yeah, 98 to somewhere around. I don't know the exact Gen Z dates because it always fluctuates. I've seen 1995 to 2010. I've seen 1997 to 2012. I've seen all kinds of years. But yeah, we met in 2018. She was one of my roommates starting 2019. And then we typically say we started dating in May of 2020, just to give like a date, like a month to it. But we were kind of a thing before that, but more like January 2020, technically before COVID. Well, like, part of it is that when our relationship was kind of still starting to form was when COVID hit. And so like dates weren't really dates. They were still like in the apartment, so we weren't like going anywhere. It was weird. It was a weird time. You know what? This actually, one of these can stay here. Yeah, in 2 weeks, 2016 will be a decade. Yeah, that's... I can't believe it sometimes. But it's definitely the whole, like... you can't really put a specific point on when exactly it happened, so... And it was somewhat of like a situationship as well to start. Like we spent a lot of time together, even before we started dating, like actually dating. We spent a lot of time together, like sometimes 10 hours a day. There were moments where we would spend pretty much all day, like typically in my room, because what would normally happen is she would be sitting on my bed, have her stuff sprawled out on my bed, like her homework and books and stuff, doing stuff, and I would be on my computer doing something, whether it was homework or content or something else. Fair enough, Justin. Fair enough. Whatever works for you. Plenty of time for, you know, romantic relationships. I'd also say it's never too late. Proportionally. Is the bath salts up here? Is the next one? I feel like it's the next one down. Where the bath salts at? The bath salts. Lay low. I'm gonna double check these before I put them in. That was not good. Now it's good. Yep, well, these are good. I mean, I never made a raid farm in this world, and I don't like to use totems, so I don't. That's it. I don't hate them. Just don't necessarily like them. It's a weird concept, I know. I find it to be a little more fun if I don't. For me. For me. I'm not taking that out for this, no thank you. Blackstone and netherrack. Favorite food / drink? Oh man, my favorite food has definitely changed over the years. Like if this was me like 5 years ago, I'd be a very different answer than today. I used to be a big steak person. I still like steak. Steak is great, but Um, I have become a big Indian food fan, and so butter chicken is like #1 for me. I will take butter chicken any day of the week. It's gotten to the point where like, if we're going over to my in-laws, like, there's a pretty good chance that at some point while we're there, they're going to order some Indian, and we're gonna have that for dinner. Cause you know, they know. Thank you for the pizza roll, Breezy. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's fun having you around, Breezy. It's fun to talk to you. Appreciate you sticking around. I appreciate it. Oh, I highly doubt that I knew. I don't really remember, but I probably didn't. Do that. Minus chicken vindaloo or a biryani. Lamb biryani is so good. Lamb biryani is so good. The two things when my in-laws, when I started, like, the first time I tried Indian food was with them. And they got butter chicken, they got lamb biryani. I think that was it, actually. I think they just got those two. Might have been one other thing. Go. But if I could pick a favorite food, I'm a foodie. Fair enough. It's hard. It is. I just float away. There we go. We're going to make some more shulker boxes, unfortunately, I think, for a lot of what we're doing. Get cord through over here. And then this was still over here too, wasn't it? Favorite drinks, top 5. I don't know. I have too much Diet Coke to not say Diet Coke, I feel like. I was never a Diet Coke person until this year. we started getting Diet Coke instead of regular Coke, and then I became a Diet Coke, as we say, a Diet Coke girly. That's gotta be up there. I mean, I rarely ever, if ever, have it, but I used to have a lot of V8 Fusion in particular. I'd also have like the little, I remember in college I had the cans of V8. Man. V8 was so good. I don't get it anymore, and that's for a lot of reasons, but oh yeah, no, gotta be on my list as well. It's gotta be just water, which I know is a horrible pick, but I for a long time, and I'm starting today. I'm trying to get back to it, but I not even flavored water, just like regular water. I'd have a lot of just regular water. Starting today, like my water glass for stream is just plain old water, no flavoring. You can buy like the little, there's a few different companies that make like little squeezy things you can put into water. Go. So we have some of those, but I would like to start drinking just regular water. Ooh. Ooh. Blackstone. The gravel goes up here, I think. Steak is yummy. I love Italian food. Nice. Steak is great. Don't get me wrong. I just don't get steak very often. It's more expensive. I mean, Indian's more expensive as well, but we've been able to start making like butter chicken at home. Get the jarred sauce, basically. Get some chicken, chop it up, put it in a pan, cook the chicken, put the sauce with it, make some rice, boom, butter chicken. It's pretty good. Where is my Blackstone? It's on one of these top two, and I don't ever remember. I know where the basalt is now. It might be over here. There we go. I can never remember where this is at. It's a bit frustrating. Iron Brew, Diet Coke, whiskey, water, and probably Powerade. Nice. Water in the top 5 as well. Let's go. Trying to get back to that. It's hard. To be honest, it's really hard, especially when there's so many good flavored options out there. But it'll be better for me. It might need more shulker shells. Big yikes. What I want to say about this is a big yikes. Because I'm putting so many shulker boxes into the basalt section. My oh my oh me oh my. Where's my chests? Where is thou chests? Where is't thou? Is't thou chests? Hello. Greetings. Got an extra chest. I do kind of miss the. Let's grab these. I do kind of miss the guaranteed shulker shell drops that when I was on Afterlife we had. It was nice. But this is vanilla, so I like to keep it vanilla if I can. All right, we are gonna go. We're gonna sleep, and then we are gonna go to the Enderman farm, I think, so we can repair a bunch of our tools. I don't know what Emma's up to right now. We're watching a show earlier. I drink 3 liters of normal water a day, trying to be more healthy. Yeah, I need to drink more water too. I've gotten unhealthier in the last year. I've definitely noticed. So yeah, I don't know what she's up to right now. So Emma's been getting a lot more into D&D, specifically Critical Role. So she's been watching a lot more D&D campaigns from them. So much so that we have now started that there's someone here. I feel like someone here. No, it wasn't here. It was when we went to Boston for Thanksgiving. We talked with some of her family who are also into D&D. Where am I going this way? But there's a couple of shows on Netflix that are animated shows that are based off of some Critical Role campaigns. Yeah, we're gonna go to the Enderman farm to fix the wings. Thank you, though, Breezy. So we started watching some of those shows. It's on Amazon Prime Video. They made a couple of shows out of the campaigns. So we started watching those. But she's been watching a lot more Critical Role. Trouble drinking because I don't get thirsty till I'm super thirsty. Yeah, it's tough. I could be like that too. And then what ends up happening for me is I tend to just be a lot more dehydrated, just in general. Tools and extra tools. Jimbo needs repaired. This pickaxe needs repaired. These two need repaired. So we're gonna repair these. A little bit of both. Interval this year, drink water, losing weight, 95 kilograms, 95 kilogram fat muscles, so halfway done my rule. Nice. I appreciate it, Breezy. You're not reading your book to be here. It's wild. You know, Emma could be listening to an audiobook right now. That's another thing too. When we went through our Spotify wraps together, I had a lot more listen time than she did, and part of that is she listens to a lot more audiobooks than I do. I listen to a lot more music. Well, I say a lot more audiobooks to me. I don't listen to audiobooks, period. I don't read. So, I mean, I'll read, like, you know, things on a screen, but not books or anything. Not for a long time. Yeah, thanks for hanging out, Justin. Go get a little bit of sleep. See you another time. Thanks for being here. You said Emma video on Discord. You're wondering if she's seen it yet? Oh, I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to leave though, fair. But you probably should get a little bit of sleep, right? I believe I've heard somewhere that a little bit of sleep is better than no sleep. Yeah, I put the VODs on YouTube as well. Or on the, well, it's not in those socials. But that channel, that link works. The archive channel will have the VOD once it's ready. Typically one of the first thing I do when I hit the stop streaming button is I go to my Twitch channel, I go to the video producer and I export the stream. And I make it public, so like the very first thing. Thank you. What in the world? VODs in the past, not the present, yeah. Well, I make it public. I format the title correctly normally. I like having all these on a separate thing that's not Twitch, because they do expire eventually on Twitch. So if I'm able to upload the VODs on that channel, like I've got VODs on that channel for like I've got basically most if not every stream I've done in this world. I think I missed a few at some point when I was trying to be too good at posting VODs and it was taking up so much time that I just wasn't doing it. Now I just take the easy route. I don't do thumbnails, I don't do descriptions. I just post it on the VOD channel. It's an archive. It's Fire's archive. That's the point of it. So yeah, I mean if you want to stay, Justin, you know, that's totally your decision. Just know if you did want to go get sleep, like there are VODs there if you wanted to catch up on things. And or just tune in next Wednesday. Well, actually next Wednesday I won't be streaming, but Sunday or the following Sunday or the following Wednesday. So like I said, I stream Sundays and Wednesdays, so I won't be streaming a week from today, but I will probably be streaming 2 weeks from today. So then weekends I'll be around, so a week from today is Christmas Eve and I won't even be home. So that's why I say that. I will be home on Sunday. I will be home the Sunday after that. I will be home New Year's Eve. That's the plan anyways. We don't like going places. Well, I don't know the last time we've actually gone someplace for New Year's Eve. I don't know if we ever have, to be honest. We hosted, I think the last 3 years, we've hosted a handful of people, not very many people, at our place just to play some games and hang out and whatever. But we're not doing that this year, so. Yeah, I mean that's totally fair, Justin, as well. Yeah. No worries. I mean I get being busy as well. All right. Old, I'm usually asleep, and if I happen to wake up, I'll toast a New Year with some juice and go back to sleep. I like staying up and watching, you know, staying up till midnight, doing a little toast. Ooh, I should tell Emma we should get some champagne this year. I think we got some last year. I don't remember, I think we did. Mimosas at midnight. just a glass of champagne would be good. But it's a later problem. It's a future me problem. If you toss in s'mores, you get mimosas. Yep, true. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, whatever you want to do for New Year's, right? Like, go hang out with people, don't hang out with people. Everyone's got their own New Year's things that they like to do. I like being home for New Year's. I think every year we've been home for New Year's. We've just, I guess the last 3 years we hosted people. Just because typically around like the Christmas time frame, we're away, we're at somebody else's house, we're doing some other thing, and it's nice to just kind of be home, you know? Oh, sorry, Breezy. Yeah, I should have middle clicked. I'm so used to just doing it that way. The hard habit to break. Y'all better not knock me off of here. Otherwise, I'm gonna be a little mad. Just a little mad. Don't do it, y'all. Don't do it. Hey, I mean, if you want to keep picking on me for it, go for it. Do it enough, I might actually remember. Yeah, sparkling grape juice is cool. I had some of that like late high school. Just got a notification on my phone that my neighbor sent me 10 bucks. Story behind that is it was a bit late in the season to be doing this, but I did want to cut our grass one more time. Fortunately, it snowed the next day, but hopefully I didn't cut it too short. Could have negative effects on the grass. I hope it doesn't, but anyways, that's a different problem. While I was doing that, I am talking to my neighbor who we share our property line with. It's a neighbor behind us. And there's part of his grass that borders parts of our grass. And he's been wanting to get something done with some of the leaves that were in that part of his yard, and I'm like, well, I can just run over it with my lawnmower while I'm here. Take me 15-20 minutes. Wouldn't be a big deal. And he insisted on on paying me something for it. So that's why I got a notification. He stopped me earlier today as well and thanked me for it and said, how about I send you $10 for something. It was like for like a coffee or something. It's like, sure. Yeah, it's very nice of him to do. I talked to Emma about it yesterday. Like I didn't even tell him when I was done, because part of me was also like, we're neighbors. Like you don't need to pay me if you feel like a big need to, then sure, but we're neighbors. Like, and it took me 15-20 minutes. You know, it wasn't a big deal for me. So but he's also older, and we've had discussions as well about like we're pretty young in our neighborhood, especially pretty young to own a home in this neighborhood that we live in. So like a lot of our neighbors are better off. We're not bad off financially, but like they're better off financially, and we've had discussions about that where he's been like, yeah, if you need tools for anything, feel free to you can borrow some of mine and things like that. So he's a good guy. Stepdad's recovering alcoholic. Yeah, I'm careful about talking about some of that stuff on stream as well. A little bit. Champagne's not as bad, right? But because like my family has a history of alcoholism as well. So I grew up in a pretty dry household. Because both of my grandfathers were pretty bad off. So it was like, I didn't grow up in a completely dry household, but like it was like very rare that you'd see any kind of alcohol. So it was only typically if we had people over for something. My parents would go out and get some stuff then. Now they don't care, and part of that is also just like the way my parents wanted to raise their kids was without alcohol surrounding them. They made a very conscious decision early on to do that, so that was also part of it. It's just how they wanted to go about doing that. So when I was much older and was able to like understand it, my dad ended up like explaining like the whys behind it. So water is great. Water is awesome. Yeah, we're not getting an $800 champagne though, for sure. Yeah, he's very nice of the neighbor. Like I said, he's a great guy. So yeah, we don't drink as much wine as we used to. I think we mentioned before in this, we had a wine class in college, so we drank a bunch of wine for that. It was like part of our grade basically in college. We got points for drinking wine and doing reviews of wine. Basically, it wasn't the consumption part, but it was the tasting part of it. But we've been doing a little more like bourbon than wine more recently. The problem with wine, and it's like things that you have that have like a shorter Once you open it, stuff that, you know, starts to turn bad with air. Like once you open a bottle of wine, you really do want to finish it relatively quickly. Or like really seal it back up well. And we don't, like, we would never drink, these days we don't really drink enough wine to finish a bottle. We could finish it in a few weeks, but a few weeks sometimes it goes bad. So we don't drink as much of that anymore just because of that. I was in wine for every night for like 24 years. It's just a thing I kind of grew up around. Yeah, not with, but around. Yeah. I don't remember, you know, adult beverages like that being a big part of my life. Like, I don't even remember like parents of my friends or anything like that doing that. Now I was a kid, right? So part of that is they probably didn't do as much when kids were around, but like I don't even remember that being a topic of conversation at all. I don't think so. Versus I think with Emma, there was a little more of a conversation about what it was and things like that. So I think she's been a little more cultured. Again, with the whole bourbons thing, that's like a, like her mom is big into bourbons, and I say big into it, it's more like collecting. Bourbon is one of those beverages, one of those alcoholic beverages that like is more of a collector's item a lot of times for people than it is like something people consume. Which is interesting, but because I never really thought of it as like a collector's thing, like any of those kind of adult beverages. I've never really thought of it as a collector's item until like I met Emma and she described some of that. I'm like, that's interesting. I've never thought about it that way. All right, go get a little bit of sleep, Justin. Thanks for hanging out for a bit. I appreciate you. Oh my gosh. Go. Did Jeff go live tonight? I was looking at his Discord before. I didn't look at some of the other channels. I was looking at at least his announcement channel on his Discord. I think he goes live Tuesdays and Wednesdays, right? I think. But I didn't see him have an announcement that he went live. I know last week he didn't stream. I think he did yesterday though. I know he was saying he was having some, you know, more personal things coming up, which I get. I do that too. Okay. He did not stream tonight. I see it now in his Discord. It's their 3rd year wedding anniversary. Right? 3rd year. Yeah. 3rd wedding anniversary. Cool. It's a fair reason not to stream. Got the post. He wasn't streaming, but it's his and Phoebe's 3rd wedding anniversary. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So they were about 2 years before us. So they were 2022. That sounds about right. When I remember seeing some things on social media, I think. Alright, I think though, just about 2 hours. If you post a video of Jeff actually using voice to text, make the post in Discord. While in the middle of the story. That's hilarious. That's funny. That's really funny. But yeah, I think we're gonna wrap up there for today. Why is Tubbo online? What? Anyways, nah, I don't think we're reading tonight, but not tonight. We'll see about another night. There we go. But yeah, thanks for hanging out, y'all. Appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out, Breezy. Will do. So, I'll throw some socials, Discord, all that stuff in the chat. Anyone out there who hasn't checked out those things, feel free to. And I will see you all back here on Sunday. We'll have another stream on Sunday. It'll be fun. It'll be great. It'll be awesome, actually. So, yeah, I'll see you all then. Thanks for hanging out. Have a good night. Bye-bye.